Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, Mr. Ross, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this week on Live with the Locals.
Live with the Locals, I'm good.
So I'm very excited to share with people what you do because you're definitely an entrepreneur in the Southern Maryland area, and I'm here to help you guys, share what you do.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Been looking forward to it, Amanda, so go for it. Shoot, whatever questions you got, I got you.
Well, I know you because you helped me publish my book. So you are a business owner, an author, a professional speaker, a trainer, and a coach, a consultant for self-publishing and personal development. But tell us a little bit more about your book, No More Crumbs from the Table.
Yeah, it all comes together in the fact that, as a training specialist, I was working in this whole area of what we call at-risk people groups, right? And when I work with at-risk people groups, the whole idea is to help them see what's on the inside of them. I believe that every single person, human, that came onto the earth through God's intervention is the fact that they have what's called a tag, a talent, an ability, and a gift. It's up to us to stir up the gift. It's up to us to go on the inside and find out exactly what that is and then put it to work in the earth. So I was doing consulting, I was doing training, and back in 2016, Dr. Godfrey asked me to do a pilot on the campus of CSM, and I've been doing it ever since. COVID did take a really big hit on us as far as what we do, but I help people tell their story. The whole idea of writing their story or write your story is that you have a story on the inside of you, and all you need to do is figure out a way to how to cultivate that story, take it out, because that story is not for you. What you've been through, what you go through, is for other people. When you go through it, you get to the other side, and then you go help other people. It's just like anyone that's been in the military. Once something happens, you have to go in and get your comrades. You bring them out to safety no matter what. If you're surviving, then you go and get the other survivors and you bring them to safety. So that's what I do with the whole idea of, this No More Crumbs from the Table. It celebrates people discovering their talent, their ability, their gift, and putting it to work in the earth.
Does it touch on your own personal story inside of there?
The entire book is based on these milestones that happen, these situations that's happened in my life. Like right now, this whole idea of where we are outside, making a decision and then deciding how is that going to help somebody else. I could cancel, I could say no, but what I did was I looked at the things that's in my life. Where were those guideposts where something happened in my life, a divorce, something happened into my life, a layoff, something happened in my life, losing every single thing that I own in a bankruptcy, and then finding a way to stay alive, finding a way to recharge, finding a way to take those fragments like Jesus did, right? He said, go and get the fragments from among them, and he brought more baskets back. So the whole idea of the fish and feeding people and all that kind of stuff, I believe I've been given a gift to help people cultivate themselves, cultivate the gifts that's in them, and then bring it out. And that's what this whole thing was all about. So yes, it's my story and it's your story. It's the stories that we tell that help other people get past the things that they've been through.
Excellent. I love doing that as well, telling stories. And I always tell people, like you're saying, that our books will help save lives.
Yes,
so
what's inside you, once you write it down, people can take it and change, right?
Exactly.
You said you met me in a classroom, and when you did, you came with an idea. You wasn't finished. It wasn't done. I helped you just get through that next step to get it done. You had to do the work.
Yeah.
But that story, the story of how you survived what you've been through, there's a young lady right now trying to figure it out, and she don't have to figure it out. Because all she got to do is change to the back of your book, and there's a resource. All she has to do is look at your story and see that if you can make it through, possibly I can make it through. And that's how it is. If we can see somebody doing it, all we got to do is emulate that, make some moves, take some steps, and then we have our lives changed.
Excellent. So speaking of the class that I once took of yours, it's the Write Your Story course. What exactly do you do in that course for people?
Yeah, a lot of people say, you should write a book about that. A lot of people say, wow, why don't you tell that story? So in my engagement, it was, hey, how can I show you how to go from thought, get it out of your head, out of your heart, and into the hands of those that consume it. And you do it quickly. You don't have to take forever to publish your book. So I help with self-publishing. Individuals take a moment, capture that information, and if they use the systems that I tell them, they can have a book in their hand in 7 weeks or less. Sometimes 48 hours if they just want to do a book that they can get into the hands of their customer, which is a whole different thing. But the idea is take that information, I walk you through the process, the concepts, the steps, so that at the end of that story, you actually have a physical book in your hand that you can now give to other people, and who knows what that might do. You can change lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll testify to the fact that after you helped me actually get a hard copy of my book, I was able to show others that, hey, self-publishing is another option. Here's Mr. Ross's number. Go talk to him. Make sure you get all the information. And then through your program, I've seen others as well get a hard copy of their book.
I got a friend named Tracy. She's been holding that book forever in her heart, but now she has a physical book in her hand, right? She took her poetry and turned it into something.
Exactly.
We had somebody else that came through that class, and they had a story about their mother and dad. Their mother and father passed away. They wanted to do a legacy book, so they did a legacy book. That's the Tolson family. So yes, there are individuals who have taken the same steps that you've taken, and I think you're on your 3rd or 4th book now, right? So it's not like you don't know what to do now. You know what to do. You take the information, put action behind it, and you don't know where it's going to take you. But now we're talking about this, right? You got me in front of your camera doing an interview in the rain.
Roles have reversed.
After I had to write, it's crazy what I had to do to get here, but I'm here. So, because I had made the commitment that I'll be here, and that's what I do. So, yeah, it's
well,
awesome.
We definitely appreciate it, and I hope that many people reach out to you. I know I'll be sending people your way probably for the rest of my life. But, so you've already talked about the tag, which is like your big thing.
Yes.
But what's next on the horizon for Dwayne Ross?
What's happening right now is the comeback champion. See, I believe everybody's the comeback champion. Whatever you've been through, it's not just for you. Even the negative things that you've had. I had abuse. I've been abused by my foster care mom, right? I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a father to guide me through anything. My mother died. I was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. My brother was sitting there playing at my dead mother's feet. I had to walk him away and then go get my uncle at 8 years old. And I carried that for 58 years, that it was my responsibility. But that part of my story helps other people. So what's on the agenda for me is continually stirring up people's gifts, stirring up their story, and then going from write your story to now filming your story. I'm working with Cleo's Chin, Michael Cleo's Chin. You can find him on my Facebook page. He just produced a movie. He and I are getting together now to find funding to start telling stories, but doing it in a visual impact way. There's a whole bunch of channels out there, and they need content. So my goal is to go from the comeback champion, which is this whole week for 5 days, where people can actually tap in to a number of different people. I'm talking about people like Cheryl Wood. I'm talking about people like Dr. Frazier. I'm talking about people like Myron Golden. I'm talking about these people who are in the community helping people every single day, millionaires who have taken the time to say to people like myself, you can do it too. So I'm working with them right now through the Comeback Champion. You can look at that, my page. Go to DwayneRoss.com and you can get free consultation for 90 minutes. I sit down and I tell you what you need. I'll actually show you how to do the book. But if you run into a problem, I'm there for coaching to get you through the steps. And then the last thing about that is that I'm looking to start my own coaching program that's going to really expand this idea of write your story, tell your story, speak your story. Because I believe there's a lot of platforms out there for people to tell their story verbally through whether it's written word. I mean, you just had, Amanda, I know you have the spoken word.
Yeah.
That's powerful when you can use spoken word to get people to think differently. Because it's all about mindset. And when you set mindsets, you set heart sets. And when you set mindsets with heart sets, you create action. And that's what we want to do. We want to create action where it changes lives. I don't care about millions of dollars. What I care about is the transformed lives that have sat in front of me. I was at a gas station, minding my own business. A gentleman walks up to me. He looks familiar, but I wasn't sure who he was. When he came up to me, he said, "Man, Mr. Ross, thank you so much." I'm like, "Who are you?" I mean, I didn't say that, but I was thinking that. And he said, "I was in your orientation class when you was talking about you should start your own business, and I started my own paint business." Wow. When he did that, I was just floored. because I was like, I don't even remember all of what I said. But what I do remember is that I tell people all the time, you matter. Your story matters. All you got to do is put action behind it, and you never know where it's going to take you. So that's my story. That's what I'm sticking to. I know that I've been blessed to be a blessing to other people. I've been to the bottom. I was a wreck, right? I've been through divorces. I've been through losing parents. I've been through a really bad relationship with the foster care system. Both me and my brother abused. But you know what? I didn't choose drugs. I didn't choose alcohol. But I definitely know that there was some darkness in my heart, and I needed to get that out. And how I got that out is by making a difference and helping other people. So that's what I do. I invite you to join me. Come on and ride with me. Whatever you need to do. You got a story on the inside of you. You got 10 stories on the inside of you. All we got to do is get those stories out. One story at a time. But you never know whose life you're going to change. Could it be Martin Luther King's life that you changed? Could it be Gandhi's life that you changed? Could it be your life that you changed? And now your children have a legacy. I don't know, but it's up to you.
Love it, Mr. Ross. So you already mentioned DwayneRoss.com.
Yes.
But I also want to throw out there for people to know your free trial, the 60 minutes of coaching.
Yes.
I want them to know that that's available and they can have that.
Anytime. All they got to do is log in, come to DwayneRoss.com, set up an appointment. It says, calendar invite, and you're there. If you go on my Facebook page, I am Dwayne Ross. Dwayne Ross, and you can find me Dwayne Ross 24/7 on Twitter. I mean, if you look me up, if you just Google me, I'm out there because I'm a public figure. But here's the thing. You know Amanda. And if you know Amanda, she knows me. It's just connections.
Yep.
And she knows God. So God has connected you through Amanda to connect to me so you can get whatever you need done. Remember this. You are the salt of the earth. You have been blessed. You've been given a talent, an ability, and a gift. You cannot take it to the grave with you. The richest place in the world is the graveyard. I heard Miles Monroe say that a long time ago. And here's the thing that Mr. Les Brown said. No matter how bad you get knocked down, if you can look up, you can get up.
That's right.
So get up. And then Dr. King said, drop your buckets wherever you are and make moves. Don't wait for permission. That's one of the things that this current landscape is. They're waiting for permission. Don't wait for permission. Go after it. So I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us today, even in the rain that's coming down. We appreciate it.
Well, hey, all the noise, this is outside. This is right here. You got a wall behind you, but you got all kind of possibilities in front of you. Go for it. All right. Thank you, Amanda.
Love it. Thanks, Mr. Ross.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next page, next post, next YouTube video, next live, or right here on the interview in the rain. It's awesome.